Bonjour les amis. Welcome to France. Bienvenue en France. Welcome to the magnificent Loire Valley. It is August and I am on a staycation during a pause in the touring season, and I came to a magical place today, a little bit off the beaten path. This is a town, a commune you know as Azay-le-Rideau. And there is a famous chateau in Azay-le-Rideau, but this is not it. This is another chateau. It's called the Château de Lillette, L-I-S-L-E-T-T-E. It's much smaller, but if you look closely, you can find a resemblance with Azay, actually. Back in the day, before this chateau was modified in the 19th century, its roof lines in particular, a lot of people used to call them the brothers of Azay-le-Rideau, those two chateaux. So today I came here to visit the Château de Lillette on a lovely August morning. It's about noon now, lunchtime. So the park, of course, is expansive. There are gardens right outside the chateau. We will see that in a second. You have a river, which is l'Indre. The chateau is built right on that river. Quite a magical place, very peaceful. Now the chateau is interesting because it is not a museum. This is a chateau where a family lives today. The Michaud family, they acquired this property in the 1960s, and today the son of the owner at the time and his wife, Monsieur and Madame Michaud, own the place with their family. And it must be interesting for them because 5 months of the year, between May and September, they leave the chateau so visitors can discover it, and they stay nearby at a farm. But they are around. In fact, the owner, Monsieur Michaud, was spotted this morning working in the gardens over there. He's working right now. And I think I saw Madame Michaud walk by and go inside the chateau. She's the one in charge of all the flower arrangements. So if you think that Chateau is the only chateau in the Loire that has fresh flower arrangements inside, think again, because here at the Château de Lillette, this is also the case. Pride of ownership really shows everywhere, both on the grounds and inside the chateau. And I thought I would take you along with me. The entrance is over there, past the old windmill. The windmill doesn't have wheels anymore, but today it's the boutique and the little restaurant right above the river. The main building, the chateau, is here. We are facing south right now, so this is the south-facing wall. And this is where all the beds are. It's been a very hot, very dry summer, as you've probably heard. So it really is a labor of love to keep everything looking good. Some of the roses are still blooming. Now, the story of the chateau is very similar to stories of chateaux in this area. Originally, the original logis or building was a medieval one. And then in the 16th century, early 16th century, in the 1530s, they built a Renaissance chateau. During the heyday of this region, the Val de Loire, when so many beautiful properties seemed to come out of the ground, though most of them were built on the foundations of older chateaux, medieval chateaux. And just like the Chateau of Azay-le-Rideau, the star in this area, you can see at the very top of the Château de Lillette here, le chemin de ronde, which was the walk that the guards used to take to protect the chateau. So you still have those medieval notes here. In the 19th century, the previous owner modified it heavily. The roof lines are not as high as they used to be. The windows have been modified as well. So the resemblance with the Chateau of Azay-le-Rideau is not quite as striking now, but inside there are old paintings, illustrations where you can see what it looked like before the 19th century, and then you can really see the resemblance. So a family lives here, the Michaud family, when the chateau is not open to the public, as it is right now. They stage very fun events in the summer throughout the season, at night especially, picnics, musical events as well. And you can just picture what it must be like to be here at night on the lounge chairs where I was sitting earlier under those trees with such a glorious view. We have here some lavender and flowers, flowers, flowers everywhere, which must be such a challenge this summer. Everything is in good taste. Of course, the facade, the south-facing facade, is made of tuffeau, a tuffeau or a tufa stone. That very soft limestone that you find all over the Loire Valley. This dates back to the 16th century, the Renaissance. It's in very, very good shape. And look at the size of these flower arrangements here. So originally, until the 19th century at least, we had a moat right where the gravel is here. There was a moat going around the chateau, so it would have looked much more medieval at that time. There was also a drawbridge, and it would have been right here. So this is how you would have entered the chateau. You see where the bridge was attached on both sides here. So as you go inside, we cannot visit all the floors. The public cannot visit all the floors. The Michaud family uses all 3 floors, but we can visit the ground floor, le rez-de-chaussée, as well as the first floor. So I'm going to take you through that. And wherever you are, a lot of light. That's what I like the most in the chateau. I think it's all the light. Some really big windows. This is a chapel, a small chapel. If you come here, they give tours throughout the day. A person from the chateau gives tours in French, as far as I know. They may do it in other languages as well, but I'm not sure. So this is a very small chapel. Now remember, this is not a museum. This is a chateau where a family lives outside tourist season, which is why you will see some furniture, some equipment that makes it comfortable and cozy. Madame Michaud, the wife of the owner, is also a painter, and her work is featured throughout the chateau. Here's the entrance on the northern side. So if you do this, this is where you arrive across this bridge. More grounds on this side. And this is where we came from. So I think I'll show you a couple of rooms, a few rooms. Let's go in. This is the guard's room. Pretty massive, as you can see. Now this room has been dedicated to a couple of very famous lovers who used to come here in the late 19th century during their passionate love affair. Those 2 lovers were Auguste Rodin and Camille Claudel. The owner at the time rented out rooms, and so Camille and Auguste Rodin came here to live their passion secretly. In fact, you have in several languages here transcripts of the letters they used to write each other. There's also a very interesting illustration of the Château de Lillette before it was remodeled in the 19th century. And when you look at the roof lines here, when you look at the windows, you can really see the resemblance with Azay-le-Rideau. So this is the room they have dedicated to Rodin and Claudel during their love affair. These are photos of Camille, one of them while she was working. This is the facade of the chateau that was done by Rodin, apparently. Now you probably know that he discovered this area, the Val de Loire, when he was commissioned to work on a statue of Honoré de Balzac, who was born in Tours. This famous statue that you can admire today in the 14th arrondissement near Montparnasse, at Carrefour Vavin. Rodin worked on it for several years, for many years in fact. But the people who commissioned it did not like it. They didn't think it was very representative. Eventually, the statue made its way to Paris. But at the time, it was very controversial. Here's Camille again, and these are excerpts of the letters that they wrote to each other. So this is the guard's room, and then as you go towards the back here, you go upstairs to the rooms you can actually visit on the first European floor. So I'll just do this, and then I'll take you up there. See you up there. And here we are in the bedroom section on the first European floor of the chateau. There are several bedrooms we can see. It's also interesting because you always wonder, how do people live in a chateau today? Is it comfortable? Does it get cold? So this is one of the bedrooms. It's quite pretty, with a fireplace, a massive fireplace. And there is a smaller bedroom in this section here, which is an older part of the chateau, with a brick wall. The tiny little room. It's very pretty. There you go, with a doll. And a fireplace, another fireplace, and big windows everywhere with a lot of light. It's lovely. And the sheets are embroidered. They say Lilette. And I like how they leave thorns and thistles, and to tell people not to sit on the bed. It's nicer than putting a sign that says don't sit, basically. And in case you wonder what it's like to live in a chateau today, this is the bathroom that the owners use. It's gorgeous, and the way that the ceiling, the mirrors on the ceiling reflect the light. The big shower here. So it's very, must be a little strange to them to share their private space with visitors like this. The master bedroom, I understand, is at the other end here. Look at these. There are a few people here, but not too many. This is the master bedroom. Starts with the desk. High, very high ceilings. Now the guide pointed out earlier that it is a comfortable chateau. These couches are actually, those sofas are actually from IKEA. Look at the size of the window overlooking the garden where we were earlier. That is quite impressive. I think that's the owner down there with the hat, working hard. They have 2 gardeners on site and 2 cleaning ladies, that's it. Here is the master bed and the master bedroom. Now, interesting piece of trivia here. Do you see how thick the wall is here? Well, the tuffeau stone, the tufa stone, keeps the heat so much from the summer that they don't have to heat the chateau until February, typically. That is quite incredible. And of course, because people live in the chateau, you have family photos everywhere. The Michaud, I believe, have 4 children, grandchildren as well. And part of the family lives on the top floor, even in the summer. But the parents and one of the sons move away to another property. Now the pièce de résistance when you visit the chateau is the big room where we are arriving now, where a few minutes ago Madame Michaud made an appearance and greeted the visitors, in fact. Look at this. Wood ceilings, painted, wood paneling on the sides as well. Incredible room. And look at this flower arrangement. Attention to detail, exquisite taste everywhere. There are coat of arms, a gallery of coat of arms from the original family from the 16th century, all around the room. And this is the room, I believe, where Camille Claudel and Auguste Rodin had their workshop. So of course it looks very different now. But I can just picture the family using it. It's probably laid out differently when they do. More flowers. There's something about this chateau. It feels very, almost cozy. What I'd like to show you next is the kitchen in the dining room. It's afternoon now. This morning nobody was around. So I'm going to take you to those rooms next. And here we are in the dining room. It may not have always been a dining room, but a lot of light again here. This window overlooks the gardens. This one overlooks the entrance. And then this one, lots of light. And you can see it's pretty cozy and homey. Nice colors. Now, after Rodin and Claudel split up, in the 1890s, Camille came back here and she stayed here again. And some people think she had lost a child. She'd had an abortion and she could never have children. So she came here and she painted the daughter of the owner at the time. And this resulted in one of her most famous sculptures called La Petite Châtelaine, the little chateau owner. And she used to call the little girl the little one from the Ilette, from the Chateau d'Ilette. So this is one of the versions. There are different versions of this sculpture. This one is made of bronze. See that little girl who used to live here back in the day? So this is, in fact, the dining room. And then I want you to see the kitchen. And for me, the pièce de résistance, the kitchen. And I just had a lovely, lovely encounter with the owner, Madame Michaud, who was in the process of preparing these flower arrangements from the gardens. We had a great conversation. She's so creative and she loves orange. It's her favorite color, and it's mine as well. So she went off to have lunch with her family at the farm where they're staying nearby on the grounds. And I get to show you now this kitchen. This kitchen, family photos on the walls. Table overlooks the Indre river, and look at that, just so homey and a lovely place. These are by Madame Michaud as well. Traditional stove. And back in the dining room where we came from earlier. What a treat and what a discovery. Like always, it pays off to step away from the beaten path, especially in the Loire Valley. What a fabulous place. I really encourage you to come and visit the Château de Lillette in Azay-le-Rideau when you are in this area, in the footsteps of Auguste Rodin and Camille Claudel, but also to enjoy modern day chateau life in a place that really, really feels like a home. À bientôt les amis.